Unveiling the Shadows. A journalist's haunting investigation. The air was thick with anticipation as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the decrepit Victorian mansion that stood like a dark sentinel on the outskirts of town. This house, long shrouded in legends of malevolent spirits and sinister occurrences, had beckoned to me for years. Now, as a seasoned journalist with a hunger for the truth, I stood at its ominous doorstep, ready to unravel the mysteries that lay within. I had always been drawn to the obscure, the unknown, and the unexplained. It was a drive that had led me down countless paths in my career, but nothing had ever captivated my attention quite like this haunted house. The stories that had circulated about the mansion were the stuff of nightmares, whispered tales around campfires and spun into ghost stories to terrify children. But I was not a child, and I refused to be frightened away by mere rumors. Armed with my camera, notepad, and an unyielding determination, I pushed open the creaking, heavy front door and entered the darkness that lay beyond. The flickering flame. The moment I stepped into the mansion, a shiver ran down my spine. The air was cold and musty, and the dim light filtering through cracked windows did little to dispel the sense of foreboding that hung in the air. I turned on my flashlight and surveyed my surroundings, my heart racing. The first room I entered was a dilapidated living area, adorned with faded, peeling wallpaper and crumbling furniture. Cobwebs dangled from the ceiling like grotesque chandeliers, and dust, covered relics of a bygone era filled every corner. I couldn't help but wonder about the family that had once called this place home. What had led to its downfall? As I snapped pictures of the eerie room, I suddenly heard a faint, ghostly whisper. It seemed to beckon me deeper into the house, to confront whatever lay hidden in the shadows. The rational part of my mind screamed at me to leave, to get out while I still could, but my journalistic curiosity drove me forward. I followed the spectral voice through the winding hallways and up a grand, decaying staircase. At the top, I found a narrow corridor that led to a room bathed in an eerie blue light. The source of the light was a flickering oil lamp sitting on a dusty table. It was the only source of illumination in the room. The walls of this chamber were adorned with faded, age-worn paintings, each depicting a member of the house's former residents. They stared down at me with hollow eyes, their visages conveying a mixture of sadness and despair. I couldn't shake the feeling that they were trying to communicate something, to tell me their story. I approached the paintings, my breath visible in the cold air. As I examined them, I noticed that each one bore a name and a date of death. The date spanned over a century, suggesting that the mansion had been plagued by tragedy for generations. My heart pounded as I realized that this room held the key to the mystery of the haunted house. These paintings were not merely decorative, they were a chronicle of the mansion's dark history. I vowed to uncover the secrets they held and share them with the world. The Whispering Shadows. Over the course of the next few weeks, I delved deeper into the history of the house and its former inhabitants. The local archives were a treasure trove of information, and I uncovered tales of family feuds, tragic deaths, and unexplained disappearances that had plagued the mansion for generations. It was as if a curse had been cast upon the house, and I was determined to get to the bottom of it. The more I dug, the more I began to experience inexplicable phenomena. Whispering voices echoed through the corridors at night, and objects moved on their own. I heard footsteps in empty rooms and glimpsed fleeting apparitions in my peripheral vision. The house seemed to come alive, its spirits restless and yearning for release. One night, as I sat in the haunted room with the paintings, I felt a cold presence beside me. I turned to find a young girl standing there, her eyes filled with sorrow. She reached out to me, and I could feel her anguish. "Help us," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "We are trapped here, bound by a curse. You are our only hope." The encounter left me shaken but resolute. I was now convinced that the spirits of the mansion were trying to communicate with me, to tell their story and seek redemption. I had become their lifeline, their bridge to the world beyond, and I couldn't turn my back on them. The dark revelations. As my investigation continued, I began to piece together the tragic history of the house. It had been built in the 19th century by a wealthy family, the Van der Lindens, who had been involved in shady dealings and unethical practices. Their greed and ambition had led to the suffering of many, and the mansion had become a symbol of their malevolence. Generations of the Van der Linden family had met gruesome ends within the mansion's walls. There were tales of suicides, murders, and inexplicable accidents. It was a place steeped in darkness, and the spirits of those who had suffered within its confines were bound to it, unable to find peace. I was determined to break the curse and free the souls trapped within the haunted house. I consulted with experts in the paranormal and gathered a team of investigators to help me in my quest. We held seances, conducted EVP sessions, and used specialized equipment to communicate with the spirits. As we delved deeper into the paranormal, the activity within the house escalated. Shadows moved with purpose, and voices grew louder. The spirits seemed to be growing more desperate, and their torment was palpable. One night, as we conducted a séance in the haunted room, the atmosphere grew heavy with anticipation. The spirits made their presence known, and a chilling wind swept through the room. The young girl I had encountered before appeared, her eyes pleading. "You must find the cursed object," she urged. "It's the source of our suffering. Destroy it, and we can finally be free." The final confrontation. Armed with this new information, my team and I embarked on a relentless search for the cursed object that bound the spirits to the house. The trail led us to the long, abandoned basement, where we discovered a hidden chamber. Within that chamber, we found a twisted, malevolent artifact, a cursed amulet that radiated dark energy. It was the source of the curse that had plagued the mansion for generations. As we attempted to remove the amulet, the spirits grew restless, and the house itself seemed to resist our efforts. In a harrowing confrontation, we battled the malevolent forces that sought to protect the cursed object. It was a battle of wills, a struggle between light and darkness. With every ounce of determination and strength, we managed to wrench the amulet free from its place of power. As the amulet shattered, a blinding light filled the room, and a wave of energy surged through the house. The spirits cried out in anguish and then fell silent. It was over. The redemption. In the days that followed, the mansion seemed to transform. The once ominous atmosphere lifted, and the house no longer felt haunted. The spirits that had been trapped for so long were finally at peace. The story of the haunted house, its dark history, and the ultimate redemption of its tortured spirits became a sensation. It was a testament to the power of perseverance, the strength of the human spirit, and the capacity for redemption. I had gone from being a mere journalist seeking a story to becoming a conduit for lost souls, and in doing so, I had uncovered a profound truth. The haunted house had been a metaphor for the human capacity to confront and overcome the darkness that resides within us all. As I left the mansion for the final time, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction and closure. I had faced my own fears and doubts, and I had emerged from the shadows with a story that would inspire others to confront their own haunted pasts and seek redemption. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Please hit the like button if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button to learn English through watching these kinds of interesting stories daily. Please click on the screen on any video showing on your screen to watch it next. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video till the end.